go into the question answers session. So
Yes,
first of all,
yes. Looking forward to it. Yes.
first of all, I would like to ask you that did you always knew you wanted to be an author, and like what is the first action that you took for writing this book?
Yes, I always dreamt to be one, but I wasn't working towards it because by profession I'm an educator. So my major focus was towards the profession that I chose, and this aspiration took a backseat. But I enjoyed reading, I enjoyed writing, and definitely wanted to get my work published so that I'm able to hold my book someday. And it just happened. It happened naturally when the timing was perfect. I think the lockdown was the trigger. I had a lot of time in hand and I could devote my time to this particular thought. I completed my book. I started writing long back, and it's just that I was not able to wrap it up. So I did that with complete focus, and yes, it got published. So my dream did come true finally, but it took it was a very long journey of, I would say, 15 years.
That's nice. Okay, so moving on to the next question. Tell our readers about your book.
Okay, so about my book, I would say it's a book that's straight from my heart, and I have dedicated it to my father. Though, as a second thought, I would like to say that I dedicate it to my mother as well, because after reading the books, my readers are telling me that the real hero of the story is your mother. So I would like to, as an afterthought, because initially that wasn't my thought, but yes, my book is dedicated to both my parents, my mother and my father, who've been my, inspiration, my strongest pillar in life. My father couldn't be there with me for long because because of his untimely demise. But whatever his teachings that he gave me are still with me now in the form of a book. And my mother was always there to support. And this is a story about a girl who's a dreamer, who believes her father is a hero. And it's also a story about her two children. So whatever her dad taught her, she is, goes back to those memories each time there is a setback in life or life becomes difficult for her. She goes back to the teachings of her father, is a strong girl, and like you said, you like the title, so she tries and always tries to be that strong girl that her father wanted to be and overcomes the challenges in life. Some relationships worked for her, some didn't, but still it has been a fulfilling journey for my main protagonist, which is Bitty, and she's still a fighter and her journey continues. So that's
Yeah,
what the book is
that's
about.
so nice. Yeah. And so how long have you been trying to write this?
I have this habit of writing in my diary. So I have been, like I said, it's a process which I've been following since last 10 to 15 years. My thoughts go in my diary, or probably I just type and keep them for me, and then. It's just that somehow I wasn't very sure that am I yet ready to share this very personal aspect of my life, and put it on a public domain. So that was the hesitation. But the pandemic happened, and I realized that there should be ways in which you can go on to inspire people, even if life has not been without hurdles. So my hurdles can be an inspiration for somebody else. So I felt a bit comfortable and getting my opening up with the audience, getting my work published, and so I've been writing since your question was how long have you been writing? I write as a practice. Writing is something which is very fulfilling and satisfying for me. So I do that quite often.
Wow. So yeah, that was so good. And so which authors do you read, and like how do you get inspired by them?
Okay, so something that inspires me and motivates to read, the first thing is simplicity in the language. You know, for me, I need that connection, and that connection to me comes with a very simple thought process, because that's what, you know, the feedback, though it wasn't a conscious effort, but that's the feedback I'm getting from my readers as well, that my writing is very simple and easy to follow. So similarly, I like reading stuff which is simple to absorb and understand and connect with. So simplicity in language. I see that in Ruskin Bond's writing. So I used to pick up a lot of book from bookstores of Ruskin Bond. Then another story that touched my heart was the last lecture by Randy Posh. And I was so this time when I was reading the book, I didn't realize, but now I see a connection of my story with his. So he as a person knew that he wouldn't be living for long, so he wrote a story. He documented his lectures, recorded his lectures for his children, so that when he is no more, his children can go back to those lectures and get inspired from. So in a similar way, like my father didn't know that probably the next day he wouldn't be there for me. But I made an effort to record his teachings to me, and now they're in a public domain as an inspiration to every parent, every child. And so I see that connection between the last lecture and my story. And this connection came to me now when my work got published. Initially, when I was reading that book, I didn't have that thought or that realization.
That kind of
Yes.
feeling feels, it feels so good that you admire some author's work, and then after writing you see like there's some matching, right?
Yes.
That's so
Yes,
sweet.
yes. So that means, the first connection also would have happened because somehow I saw a similarity. But that awareness has come now. You're so very right. So I, admire people who are able to influence you through your writing.
Right, yes. Okay. So moving on to the next question, what does your writing schedule look like?
Sorry, there was
Do you write
the
every
audio wasn't. Okay. So I can only write, when it comes to me naturally. There is no disturbance and it comes from the heart. So that is the time when, if I start writing, I mean, I can go and fill pages. But if that moment doesn't happen, then it's so challenging that I cannot even go back to the second line. So, that's a biggest obstacle, because my daughter, who's 10 years old, likes writing, and she can fill pages within minutes. So I do not have that skill. For me, it's not that easy. I have to be in that right frame of mind where it comes from the heart, and then there is no stopping me. No, I don't write every day, but I think I should make a conscious effort to write now every day, because if people are appreciating my work, it's motivational for me. So I think I should write more often.
Yeah, definitely. So what's next for you? What are you working on
Next,
right now?
I want to write more and more books, and fill my bookshelf with books written by me. So I want to write more books, and so that will only come if I'm focused. And so I think people are connecting with Bitty's story. So my next book would be an extension to her journey. What happened next? Because in the end, there are few questions that Bitty's daughter is asking her, Tanya, who's again, another character in the story. So she asked Bitty a lot of questions, and Bitty has not answered. So I think in my next book, Bitty is going to answer some of those questions for her two children, Tanya and Rahul. Yes.
So what do you think makes a good story?
A good story, I think, to me, it has to have that suspense. Everything shouldn't be too obvious. People should be able to, ask for more through your writing. So that is something which is very important for me as a reader as well. It shouldn't just come to you all at once. So I think an interesting story is something which is gripping, keeps you engaged till the last page. And again, that's the feedback that I'm getting, that my story has that element. So I'm happy. It wasn't a conscious effort, But the only I'm being honest here that you do not find everything in the book, because I would say that I'm a shy writer as well. So I was waiting for that connection to happen with the audience, and it has happened. So I'll open up a bit more in my second book.
So we have a question from one of the viewers. How did you get
Okay.
into the character of Bitty?
How did I get into the character? Yes, I would have to, be honest here. Bitty is me. So I had to just relive my journey. I didn't create Bitty. Bitty is my story, and I've lived that journey. So it was very natural for me. I just had to, have a strong memory and go back to what I experienced in life. So Bitty is me. This is for my readers. This is the most important honest sharing that I'm making with the world, that Bitty is me and it's my story out there for you to read, for you to connect with, and for you to appreciate with all its flaws. I would say it hasn't been a perfect journey, but I hope you appreciate that I didn't give up.
If you would travel back to time, what would you say to that, 10-year-old girl, you, Bitty? What would you say her about writing?
Uh, I would tell her that you always wanted to write and you always loved reading, so you didn't have to wait for you to be 45 years old to get your first book published. So you should have done that, early in life. And I would like to tell her that, and I would like to tell everybody who's 10 years or beyond, please start early in life. Don't hold on, and if you have a dream, live it, and don't wait for the right moment to happen, because the right moment is when you take that first step. So take the first step early in life. I didn't do that. So, my journey happened, my success as an author happened very, very late in life. So now I feel I wish I had turned an author when I was 20 years old. It would have had a different joy for me. So at 45, I just have, probably that thought in mind. It should have happened early in my life. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So now that your book is a bestseller on Amazon, you must have read reviews. So what does reading review leave an impact on you? How does it affect you?
Yeah, I've been reading reviews, and they are very encouraging, very positive, and when I read the reviews, I realize that how important it is to appreciate someone's work. That encouragement is coming through you through those reviews. So, if somebody is not appreciating, it becomes a very demotivational. So, I am now very conscious in my writing. I'll be more kind to people and their attempt towards making a difference in life. So I want to thank everybody who's taken up time to write those reviews. This is a heartfelt thank from me to you, because you are encouraging me through your words, and reviews have been positive. And even if they are not, at least they start with a positive tone, and then certain things which have been highlighted, it is good that I take those feedback as well, because it will help me in my second book. So I value that critical feedback also coming my way. And I realize the importance of keeping a balance in life. So I want to thank my readers who have given me a very balanced review, and thank you for being so kind. And since this is my first step towards this book, and your encouragement matters a lot to me. And the best part is every review, they have mentioned that they are able to make that emotional connect with my story, because somewhere they see themselves in Bitty's character, or her children's character, or her mother's character. So that's a victory for me, I would say, because if I have led a very common life, and people are able to identify with it.
Right. So we have a question from one of our viewers. RV Shakya asks how happy or emotional it is to look back and pen down everything.
Yeah, if you could just repeat the question for me, please. Yes, I understood the second part. The first part is not very clear. Yes.
Uh, how happy or emotional it was to look back and write.
Very emotional, very emotional, to go back to those memories, because like this book is a tribute to my father. So I had to relive a lot of my emotional journeys with him, which wasn't easy. So, I used to get in touch with my mom. I used to get very emotional. She used to give me strength. And then the happiness, the joy used to come from the feedback. So, writing it was totally emotional. But yes, now I'm happy. So, it is again a balance about being emotional and happy at the same time. Uh, Very emotional journey, not easy. I'm sure everybody would understand if a parent is no more, it's not easy to go back and connect to those moments. So emotional journey for me.
Yeah, right. And do you feel that was the most difficult part of writing this book? Going back
Uh,
and
I wouldn't say it was difficult. I would say that even though it was emotional, it was the easiest part, because words were flowing naturally. It is something that I always remembered, was there in, within me, and expressing those thoughts became easier with that emotional connect. So emotional, yes. Difficult, no. Easy. Emotions at times make things easier for you. Yes.
so moving on to the next question, describe your writing space.
Uh, Describe my.
Writing space, like where do you sit and write? Do you go to some cafe or do you find a corner, cozy corner at your home and you write? How does it look like?
Okay, so I will answer this question. This is something which is my favorite. So my, ideal writing space would be to be in the hills, where I can see, a river flowing and hill view. But I am not so lucky, right? Another factor that stops me from writing is I do not have an ideal space, right? So I want to create that. So if it has to be within the four walls of my home, then I would want a room which has a library, a lot of books, so that I look at those books and get inspired. So right now, it is cluttered. My writing space is cluttered. That stops me from writing. I mean, that question has given me a thought that if I want to be effective in my writing, I should create a space as well. So right now it happens anywhere in the house, which is not very good for a writer, I would say.
Okay, yeah, right. Do you want to share any secrets from the book which, you know, you haven't shared in the book and you want to share it with the readers?
I would, actually let the secret be a secret. But if this interview session happens and, anybody wants to ask me a secret based on something that I have shared, that, can you tell us something more? I would like to do that. As of now, the secret, probably is already out, that it's my story. But if my viewers have certain questions which I have not touched upon in the story, I will be honest enough to answer. So I will wait for that question to come from, my readers. What is that one secret that they want to know about me? So that will be easier for me to answer them.
So moving on to the next part, would you please read a few stanzas from your book?
Okay. Now this again is not easy, but I just let me think. Okay, I would like to go to the last page, because that's how I wrapped up my story. The journey is very emotional, so I want my readers to be happy. So I will touch upon something which is positive. Okay, so the last few pages, I'll just read from there. So, dear diary, the pandemic didn't come with a warning, or else I would have eaten my favorite meal one last time in my favorite restaurant, or perhaps would have got some extra pack for home. The pandemic didn't say your life will no longer be the same tomorrow, or else I would have met my loved ones one last time and given them a longer hug. The pandemic never gave a hint that leaving my home will get risky, or else I would have stocked up my home with things that would last me for months. The pandemic never knocked before striking, and I wasn't prepared. But then, sitting at home, I was able to reflect and realize this is how life has been all these years for me. It never gave me a moment to prepare, but gave me the strength to face it each day. I shall use this strength to face life's new challenge that people call a once in 100 years occurrence. Perhaps life knows I have it within me to overcome it. So be strong always and in always. Yeah.
That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing this with us. So, okay, we have a question. Who is your favorite character from the book?
Okay, so even though I am Bitty from the book, from the story, my favorite character would be my dad, Bitty's dad, whose real name is Ravi. Yes, that's my favorite character from the book.
That's so nice. So, okay, so last question to you would be, what message would you give out to aspiring writers?
Okay. My message to all those people who love writing is that, it is a very powerful tool that we have. It's not easy to write, and writing can really influence, mindsets. So please don't hold yourself back. If you have that talent, if you have that aptitude and the skill, do write as often as you can, and believe me, getting your work published is very, very satisfying, very fulfilling. So make that effort, and let it happen for you. I was lucky to have found this support in Suhail Mathur, who's also been my mother's student, and so he really guided me. So find such mentors who guide you, because and if you write well, you have it within you. But if you do not find the right people who can guide you for your journey ahead as an author, then again it can be very disheartening. So find the right people, and I found one such person in Suhail Mathur, who guided me and made my dream come true. So I am very, very thankful to him.
We have a question, a fun question from Suhail Mathur. If your book is turned
Oh,
into a movie, who
yes.
would play what roles?
Who would play what role? Okay. Please ask Suhail to, just elaborate on this question a bit more, because the moment you said it's from Suhail, I am nervous. If you see, I was able to handle all the questions, but this question has made me nervous only because it's coming from Suhail.
It's just for fun. Like, if it would be turned into a movie, who would play what roles?
Okay, okay. So I have shared my age with you, and it's not a very positive age to start your journey as an actor. But since I'm so close to Bitty, because it's my life, so I would love to play that character, and start my journey as an actress as well. So that's another dream, and let's see if Sohail can pitch my work to somebody who's willing to make a movie and take me as an actress as well. So Bitty has to be me. Yes.
The next question is, who will play your role, your dad and your mom's characters?
Okay, so my role, definitely me, right? My dad's role. I'm not too sure if Shah Rukh Khan will agree, so I would want Shah Rukh Khan in this role, but I'm not too sure if he would agree playing my dad. And my mother, again, I have a beautiful mother, and I'm so proud of her looks. So I would try to, put out Shah Rukh Khan to agree to star opposite my mom as my real mother as well in the movie. I have a beautiful mother, and I'm proud of her looks.
Sana says you're too beautiful, you can be actress. Wow. Yes, really, you're right, Sana.
Yeah, you
Okay.
never know. These do come true. So that's a hidden aspiration. Thank you for saying that. And I hope it comes true, because, I would love to play Bitty, because I think I will be able to play the right emotions, and nobody else can do that. Yes.
Right. So thank you so much for your time, and Thank you for joining this live, and I had a very beautiful conversation with you. Thank you so
Same
much.
here, Shreya. You're a beautiful person yourself, and I'm so happy that I got this opportunity of being interviewed by somebody as beautiful as you from inside outside. I love your questions. It, helped me explore my journey as well and made me connect with my work in a, beautiful way. So I love the questions you asked. Thank you for making this first interview so precious for me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Have
you.
a good day.
Thank you.
Now, I would also like
Thank all the viewers for watching this live. Have a good day.